In an old big house, there lived a cat called Zarefa. Although her name suggests that she is kind, she was actually an evil cat. She was always looking for ways to cause chaos and scare the other animals in the house. But the one who suffered the most from her evil was the little mouse Farfour, who lived in a small hole next to the kitchen. Zarefa was always lying in wait for Farfour, trying to catch him whenever he came out of his hole. But she wasn't just trying to catch him to eat him. She enjoyed chasing him and scaring him. Farfour knew how evil she was, but he was a kind mouse. He didn't hurt anyone and tried to avoid problems as much as possible. Although Farfour was always running away from Zarefa, he helped everyone in the house. He would collect food scraps and carry them to his hole, but he would leave some scraps for the garden birds and the rabbits living in the backyard. He shared everything he found with others, and was loved by everyone because of his kindness. One night, while Farfour was looking for some food in the kitchen, he found the jar full of milk leaning on the edge of the table. He felt danger and ran towards the jar to prevent it from falling. He managed to push it to a safe place, but suddenly he felt the shadow of Zarefa approaching. He looked around in fear, but instead of running away, he looked at her with eyes full of kindness and said, "Zarefa, I know you want to hurt me, but I will never hurt you. Let's live in peace." Zarefa was not affected by Farfour's kind words. Instead, she decided to increase her evil. She planned a new plot to trap Farfour. The next morning, she left a large piece of cheese in the middle of the kitchen, and she knew that Farfour would not resist the temptation of the cheese. Zarefa watched from her hidden place, as she saw Farfour slowly approaching the cheese. But when he reached the cheese, he did not just take it for himself. Rather, he began distributing small pieces of it to his bird and rabbit friends. This act of kindness surprised Zarefa, and she did not expect Farfour to be so generous. One stormy night, while the wind was blowing and the rain was falling heavily, Zarefa heard a strange sound. She looked out of the kitchen window and saw that the basement window was open and the wind was pushing the leaves and branches inside. She ran to the basement to close the window, but she slipped and fell into a small hole. Zarefa tried to get out of the hole, but it was deep and her feet were slipping on the wet walls. She began to feel scared and cold. Suddenly, she heard a small voice saying, "Do you need help?" She looked up and saw Farfour standing on the edge of the hole. Despite everything Zarefa had done to Farfour, he did not hesitate to help her. He brought a small rope and threw it into the hole. Zarefa climbed out with Farfour's help until she got out to safety. It was a big surprise for Zarefa that the mouse she had been torturing all this time was the one who saved her. After that night, Zarefa began to think about her actions. She realized that evil had brought her nothing but loneliness and fear, while the kindness and love that Farfour had shown her were the reason for her survival. She began to feel ashamed of her previous actions, and decided to change herself. The next day, instead of chasing Farfour, Zarefa offered him a piece of cheese as a gift. Farfour was surprised but accepted the gift with a smile. Gradually, Zarefa began to change, and became more friendly and kind to the other animals in the house. Over time, Zarefa and Farfour became close friends. Zarefa protected Farfour from danger, and Farfour helped her gather food and take care of the house. Their relationship became a symbol of tolerance and change.